Hi folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. You know, we always talk about how things change, and we get invasive species that come into our area because life around us is changing. The globe is changing, and whether we use those terms that initiate anger or pleasure or whatever, like global warming, I'm not going to go there. But I will tell you that each year things change, and we've got more species coming up into our areas from south of us that never existed up here. And one of those species is the snow white, and I don't think this is exactly the name of it, egret, the white egrets that you see. Years ago, you didn't see them up here. Now they're becoming more a part of our landscape. And yesterday, I had to make a trip to Malone. And as we were driving, we were over by Helena, and we looked out in a field, and the light was just right, and the greens of the field were beautiful. And there, silhouetted against it, was this snow white egret standing in the middle of a field. Now, it didn't make sense to me because they're shorebirds, and I didn't know why it would be there. So we go to Malone, we come back, and it's at least an hour later, and there in the same field, in the same position, is standing this white egret. And I'm thinking, why would it be there? So I researched these birds more because I do find them fascinating. I love to see them when I go fishing in some of the backwaters. They just make the day more special to me. And egrets, they normally will nest. They'll build their nests in branches or in a tree above the ground. And this is all about safety because they have predators that feed upon them. And those predators include owls, probably eagles, raccoons, snakes. And so they have to be aware. And the other thing about egrets that really amaze me is that they don't eat, they don't do anything at night, but they will stand in the water where they do feed, and they'll sleep at night standing there because they apparently they can hear predators coming through the water at them, so it's sort of a safety place. But why would that egret build a nest in a field? That really surprises me, and I guess they can do it because the St. Regis River isn't too far away. But I just find it fascinating that we have a new animal, which is a bird that lives up here now, because I see more of these egrets all the time. I don't know how prolific a feeder are. They're just like a blue heron, and apparently herons are very intelligent birds. They're very adaptive, and I've spent a lot of time around blue herons where I fish in a certain area, and I've told you folks about this before, but I tend to, when I'm alone and when I'm fishing certain waters alone, I become very reflective, I become very slow, and I watch every cast and I observe everything around me. And because I sort of become part of the environment in doing this, the birds tend to accept me. And these herons, I've had herons feeding right alongside me for 2 or 3 hours in a body of water that I fish. And I've always found that almost comforting in a sense. And I can't really tell you why it would be comforting, but it is sort of comforting to me. However, the egrets have got to be cousins. They're herons, but yet they aren't near as accepting. They're much more likely to not get as close to people around them as blue herons will. And I'm always fascinated by the life around me, why it's there, what it really does, and how everything is interconnected. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.